Welcome to Spill the Tea Tuesday. Today I have Nia with me.
Hi.
So, we're going to talk about people using your tools in the treatment room. And I've talked about this with Masay and Carla too, but I'm curious what your situation was.
So I haven't had anybody take my tools, but I have heard, due to how our spa is set up, we can hear pretty much everything. So
The jingling around.
exactly. So yeah, well, okay. So when I was in the room, I was in a male Brazilian, and he had like just shaved like 2 weeks ago. So a lot of the hairs didn't even pull, and there was a lot of stubblies left over. I had extra time, and I literally spent like an extra like probably 15, 20 minutes just plucking. Yes. Right. I'm like, and I'm technically not even supposed to do that. So yeah, I was like, I mean, I have the time. Yeah, usually we don't. Yeah. So I had extra time, and he was like really picky. So I was like, okay, I'll do it. But then I was like, okay, like this is all we'll be able to get for the day. Like, we'll don't shave in between. Let these hairs grow. Yes. And so he was in the room for like an extra like 5 or 10 minutes. And at first I was just like, yeah. And our other esthetician when he was here, and she knocked on the door. She literally was like, is everything okay? Like, so he was just so he was like, yeah, I'm fine. I'll be out in a minute. And then I heard my tool, like, well, I heard the tool, yeah, yep. And I was like, and me and Adrian like literally looked at each other like, yeah. And so then he was in there for another like 10 or 15 minutes. And then he even came out and admitted it. He was like, yeah, sorry, I was using your tools. So I said, and I said, yeah, I could hear you. Yeah, like I was like, yeah, I was like, yeah, that's kind of not allowed, like to touch our tools, like it's a sanitation thing, like yeah. Just trying to be nice about it, but like also let them know don't do that again. Like,
We were talking about all the crazy things that happen. I definitely have heard of people using tools. I've heard people stealing tools. Somebody stole my tools before, but I've also heard like they would say people have like waxed themselves. I've never had that happen,
no,
at least to my
right,
knowledge.
right, right.
You know, but she said that the last place she worked, somebody was waxing themselves, so they had to dump like the whole.
Yeah, because we don't know what you did in there.
Yeah, we don't know if you double dip.
Yeah.
So it makes me kind of curious. That's another reason why like I keep all the lids, like the metal lids, because you can get silicone lids too. Those are quiet.
Uh
I'd
huh.
rather have the
We
loud
can
ones.
hear everything you're
Yes,
doing.
I want to hear them like clanking around. But when a guy lasts in the room too long, I think to myself, oh, are they doing something like
Yes,
inappropriate?
that was our first thought. That's why Adrian knocked on the door, like, excuse me.
Yeah, and that kind of makes me think of that guy that had just tried to book the other day.
Mm-hmm.
So I was thinking back on when he came in here last because I didn't have a chance to put a bunch of notes in, which is so important, and it's out of my bed. But when I did his wax, when I was doing like body parts like chest, stomach, everything was fine.
I
And it
think
was
I was here.
just when I was doing, I think you were too. And it's just when I was doing the Brazilian that and I'm thinking maybe he's nervous because it keeps coming up and then going down and then going up. And for those of you that are listening, I'm talking about interaction. It was coming up and going down, coming up and going down. And usually that's a sign that they're trying to control themselves, but they're just really nervous. But it got to the point where it happened a couple times, and everything goes and freeze in my mind. So it's like, okay, strike one, strike two. Okay, so now I'm like, all right, you really need to handle the body. Get the body under control. Think of dead puppies. Think of grandma. I don't care. Like, just think, get your mind off of what's going on. So we got through the service, but at the end of it, I told him, and I told him in the lobby, if I remember right, I told him that you can come back for other body parts, but we're not going to do Brazilian on you anymore. So I am going to make note of that in his profile.
Mm-hmm.
But I remember when he left the room, and I'm waiting for him with water, just to check him out. But he had went to the bathroom first, and do you remember that? Okay, so just shaking her head, yes.
Oh, sorry.
Yes. So
in my
remember
mind.
he was in the bathroom for a while, and there was like walls and the trash, and like it looked like he had done stuff, like
Yeah.
To be honest, it looked like he had jacked off in the bathroom and then came up here. So it's like, okay, that kind of solidified. Yeah, you're doing this for the wrong reasons, and you're trying to get a rise out of us, and we're just not gonna play those games.
Exactly.
So that's like where my mind goes first when somebody's taking too long in the room to come out. I'm like, what are they doing?
Exactly.
I've worked somewhere else before where, and I've had a Molly on the show before. She's on the podcast before. She had this happen to her where a gentleman just dripped off in the room after the service, and it was like all in her trash can.
It's
And they
disgusting.
left the lid open, and it's just all in there. It was almost like no shame, or maybe like he wanted them to see it. It was so gross. So now, anytime anybody takes too long in there, I'm like, "Oh, are you okay?
Yeah.
What are you doing?" And just to catch them off guard for whatever it is.
Exactly.
They could just be moving slow.
Or using your tools.
Or your tools, yeah.
Or using their tool.
Yeah. Touching their tool too much. They're cleaning their tool.
Yeah, this is what we go through.
Yeah, right? All the things to think about.
Yeah, it was funny because Adrian knocked. She knocked twice. She knocked the first time. She's like, "Is everything all right?" And then the second time she knocked, and she was like, "We have appointments." Like,
yeah, after you,
yeah.
You step out, that's a lot. To be not only like warned the first time, like, "Hey,"
and then you still stayed for another.
Yeah, that's pretty ballsy, actually.
Yeah, like you didn't care at all. You just were like.
That's just not only is that disrespectful to us and our schedule.
Yeah.
It's disrespectful to the people.
And he was a barber.
What?
Like, how would you feel if I just started using your clippers after you cut my hair?
Oh my gosh.
Or if I just sat in your chair after you finished cutting my hair until I was ready to go. Like,
just playing with the palms going up and down. Oh my gosh, that's so crazy. So he works in an appointment-based industry, and he's doing that. That's so weird. That's so weird.
Yep.
Wow. Some people just don't surprise me.
Yeah.
And then I am surprised, and then I'm not surprised. And then I'm like, I love people, and I hate people. We were just talking about clients the other day, like people that we've like lost along the way, which is sad. Last year we lost a friend of a girl. They would come in together. It was one of the girls that would see us safe normally. There's two girls that come in together, and it was like their friendship time. They'd meet for their wax. One would get waxed, they'd switch, onto the table, and the other would get waxed. Well, both of them didn't come for a few months, and we're like, what's going on? Like, where have they been? And then one girl comes in, and she did her Brazilian, and then Miss asked her, oh, how's such and such doing? And she was like, oh, she passed away. She's like, that's why I haven't been here. So it was like a horrible car accident. And we were talking about that. So Jade's with us now. So Jade we were just talking about that in the last appointment, what it's like to lose people in the treatment room. Like, you've had people come to you and you almost feel like they're family because you just know them so well, and then they pass away.
Well, luckily I didn't lose her in the treatment room, but she was my...
Oh my gosh. Like, I didn't even think about that. Could you imagine if someone just croaked on your
Somebody's
table?
like, what do they mean by that?
She was my oldest client, and she passed away. I believe she had the surgery scheduled, and on last month I seen her. She actually left me a really big tip, and I told her, I think you did a mistake, and she said, well, this is in case I don't make it. Yeah. And a month later, I got a text from her daughter, which I didn't know, but I guess she found my number in her cell phone, and she reached out to me and said, sorry to give you the bad news, but my mom passed away. Thank you for taking such good care of her. I know she appreciated everything you did for her. And yes, so yes.
You bawled your eyes out.
Yes, it was really sad.
Really
sad because you really get attached.
Yeah.
But it was like my grandma. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like a grandma passing away.
Yeah.
So we have a regular of mine that comes in. She had been with me for like maybe 4 years before she introduced me to her mom. And her mom started coming with her, and it was like a mom and daughter thing. thing, and it was a lot of fun. And I remember something was going on, and there was like kind of a bad downfall. It was like a decline in her health, and then I was only seeing the daughter, and then I I was like checking in, like how's mom doing, this and that, and then she's like, oh yeah, she had passed away, and I'm like, oh my gosh, and I remember going home that day and just like bawling my eyes out, and I remember when her mom's birthday is, so I always kind of check in with her, like, hey, it's the new balloons today, or and it's just sad. You get to know these people and you talk to them for like an hour or so at a time, even 30 minutes, and it's more than some of the people that we're related to.
Right.
I don't even talk to my cousins or my, even my sister in Florida. Like I don't talk to her that often and that long. Maybe I should. I don't know. Maybe it's bad. But we see these people every 4 weeks, and we grow an attachment to them. Like one of my regulars. I think you'll know who I'm talking about. She brings in her daughter with her every time in the morning on Fridays, and she gets there for my princess sometimes. It's like I've known her since her eldest was in diapers in the stroller, and now she has her fourth one on the way. It's just crazy to get attached to people like that you see all the time.
Definitely.
It's so sad. Well, we started on a funny note, and now it's depressing. Well, anyway, thank you for listening to Spill the Tea Tuesday. Until next week.
Bye.